So we're nearly at the end of the year, and I want to ask you a question. Did 2024 bring you closer to your dream life, or not so much? If the latter is the case, it might be that your behaviors are not helping you achieve your goals and your dream life. In this episode, I will share why you need to do things differently from now on. Maybe you are stuck in a holding pattern in life, just like an airplane waiting permission to land in an airport. Air traffic controllers use holding patterns like an intersection. A plane can't stop in mid-air, so what they will do instead is that they will fly in a circle or in an oval-shaped pattern while they wait for permission to land. Maybe you are doing the same thing. Being stuck doesn't necessarily mean lying on the couch doing nothing. You can be stuck in repetitive cycles where you do the same behavior over and over again and you don't get to the place that you want to go. You may be living your life like an airplane in a never-ending holding pattern, endlessly repeating the same cycles over and over again and never actually arriving at your destination, which for the purposes of this video is your dream life. It's really obvious, but sometimes we need to state the obvious. When we keep repeating the same behaviors, we will always end up with the same results. As Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is repeating the same again and again and expecting different results. But very often we actually do exactly that. We keep repeating the same behavior and we think that somehow magically this time around it will result in another outcome. Or we create a vision board or we set goals for the upcoming year, but we don't really take action. Or we take action for a very short while and then we give up. The generations that are alive today are probably among the most impatient people who have ever lived throughout the entire world history. The internet and streaming services has taught us that we can get everything instantly on demand. But when it comes to changing ourselves, it's just not that easy. The brain is not an algorithm. It is not a streaming service. It has an evolutionary history where it has literally not changed since the dawn of human time, basically. So it still perceives change as a threat to our survival. And that is what we have to work with. We have to work basically against ourselves to change. And it's very important to understand that. And the moment you go too fast, you're essentially blowing out your nervous system, which will shut down completely and make any kind of change fully impossible. So it's so important that you understand this. Essentially, we need to outsmart and outbehavior our own brain. As crazy as that sounds, that is the task. And it's an enormous task, really. And it can be done. And you have to do it, because if you don't, you will be stuck in a cycle where you repeat the same behaviors, you get the same results that you don't really want. And it is a vicious cycle, because when you're stuck in a place where you don't want to be, it saps you of all your energy. And in that sense, the vicious cycle is enforced because it just becomes even harder to muster the energy to go somewhere else. The question is, are you okay with being where you are? Are you okay with a life that's fairly good but not really great? In Danish, we have an expression which is called mellemtilfreds, which means medium satisfied. And I don't know if there's an equivalent in English, but I don't think that being medium satisfied with your life is good enough. If you are not okay with being medium satisfied, you need to take control of your life. You need to take control of your behaviors, and you need to change the behaviors that are in need of an upgrade. I know that I am using the image of a final destination as your best life, but the truth is that there is no final destination that is your best life. Your best life will evolve over time. And the thing that leads to true happiness, in my opinion, is to always pursue the next step towards the next iteration of your best life. When it comes down to it, you need to make a decision. Do you want to experience the pain of staying stuck and having FOMO over the life that you feel you were meant to live? Or do you want the pain that is associated with changing? There is discomfort and pain involved in creating your best life, because change is not comfortable. Change means that we have to stretch beyond our comfort zone to create a new one, to create a better life. And you have to take on that challenge to basically win at life. Anais Nin said, "And the day came when the risk to remain tied in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." It really all comes down to deciding that life does have more to offer, and deciding also that you are no longer okay with not achieving your goals and not living your best life. I want you to live your best life. That's all for now, friends. Until next time, Kapdien.